What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Genshin Impact, and today we are going to be going over some beginner tips, things you might not know right off the bat in the game. I know I actually missed a couple of these before I really jumped deep into the game, so hopefully we give you guys some good pointers, give you some info. If you have anything else to input, make sure you drop it in the comments. But let's start it off with number one. Now, number one just has to be the Genshin Impact interactive maps that are out there on the internet. Just go Google interactive map Genshin Impact. You'll probably get a couple of them, but this is a great resource for the game. It's not only a map, it can literally show you every spawn point for everything in the game. So if you're just looking for a certain couple things, you just jump right in here, pick what you want. Now these two, the oculi, these are very important. You might want to turn that on very first thing in the game. Jump in there and make sure you grab all those as you're going through the story mode. But this is very, very, very helpful. I've referenced this a ton, especially when you're looking for certain types of enemies, or if you're looking for certain types of resources. It is a great way to find what you need on the map. Now, next up has to be stamina, something that I didn't even know in the very beginning when you're swimming. And yeah, you start losing stamina, especially if you're right-clicking on the computer and you're going super fast, you're doing the paddling, you'll drown. And by drowning, you'll get teleported back to the closest landmass there is. It will not teleport you forward, it'll put you back. So you have to make sure you're managing that. Same with climbing, especially if you are jumping up the walls faster and not doing the slow climb. You will eventually run out of stamina and start falling. Although there is a way, if you know that you're absolutely not going to make it to the top of that wall, you can always do the attack animation. Just if you're on the PC, left click or just hit your basic attack, you will start attacking from the sky and you'll take much less damage, possibly saving you a death. Now, speaking of stamina, there are ways that you can manipulate that, have more stamina, drain less at a slower pace. So one thing that a lot of you probably have not seen is in party setup, there is a button that I didn't even notice at the very beginning of the game, but quickly learned about elemental resonance. So this is essentially the effects that your team's going to get based on how many of a certain element is on your 4-person team. So of course we have Diluc, so we're going to get that 25% attack bonus, which is really amazing. But there are certain things that are really great. If you have 2 Anemo on your team, you're going to decrease the stamina consumption by 15% and increase your movement speed by 10%. That's pretty good. So that is one way to try to, you know, help out as far as making it so you can travel further, fly further, glide further, climb further, all those fun things. Something I think everybody should take the time to build, especially if you have multiple heroes that you're using, is creating teams. So you notice there's these 4 diamonds up here. Yes, that means you can actually set up multiple teams. You can just swap them out and deploy at one easy click. So what I have is I have my main combat team here, and then I also have an exploration team. So we are getting 2 of those NMOs. So we have the increased speed, the lower consumption of stamina. We have heroes like Venti, which is going to be awesome. Let's jump into the actual heroes so I can show you something else with Venti's talents. He has Windrunner, decreases all party members' gliding stamina consumption by 20%. So that means we're going to glide even further. So it's kind of like you're stacking abilities on abilities, which is nice. And then we just have a level 1 Razor, but Razor has a really cool ability here, and that is decreases all party members' sprinting stamina consumption by 20% on top of your other buffs. So that is essentially why I have built a secondary lineup here that is essentially my pure movement. This is my exploration team. If I want to get somewhere, if I want to explore somewhere, this is the team I'm doing. So I highly suggest you make multiple teams, even a team maybe just for dungeons too. It's your straight up damage dealers. You might have different elements on different setups. It makes it a lot easier to jump between teams. One thing you will unlock very early on is going to be the Adventure Guild, and there's a few different things in here that are going to be very, very helpful. So one of them is going to be dispatching characters on expeditions. Essentially what you're going to do is you're just going to want to take your low level heroes, characters that you just don't use, and start sending them on these missions to get these rewards. As you progress through the game, you'll unlock even more of them. Me personally, I'm going for those iron chunks to get those saved up to do some crafting. But those are really, really important. The other one is going to be the commissions. Every single day, you are going to want to do all 4 of these. This is by far the best and fastest way daily to get this adventure experience. And that's what you really want to make sure you do every single day without fail. Make sure you get it done. And then after that, make sure you're going to be using up all of your resin every single day. The next item on the list is something I'm actually embarrassed to say I forgot about for about the first like 15-20 levels or so playing in the game, and that is every single hero has constellations, but they also have talents. And these talents, most of them, can be upgraded. So yes, you can upgrade them, you can level them up, increase the amount of damage. Of course, you are going to have to make sure you farm certain things. If you have the battle pass as well, make sure you know which guide you want to be collecting for what hero, especially if you have one main hero, which is what I highly suggest, is pumping all your resources into one hero first, your big damage dealer, to get going. But as you can see, the damage is not anything very insignificant. It's quite a bit of damage increase on most of these. Now, some skills cannot go above rank 1. Some of them will unlock at higher ascensions, while other ones are just level 1. It is what it is. And of course, every time you have another ascension, you can keep leveling your talents. So you have to pick and choose because you're not going to have unlimited resources as well. Heroes like Barbara, I basically, invested in her healing abilities while not worrying about her attack because I really don't care about her attack just yet. We'll eventually get that leveled up, but make sure you guys are jumping in here and leveling up the skills, the talents, because that's going to make a huge difference when it comes to combat. So while you're out in the world, you are collecting all sorts of different ingredients, different resources, everything. These are very important. If you see something shining, you should probably go pick it up, because cooking actually plays quite a bit of a role in this game, where it's going to be ways to give your team certain types of buffs. It's going to be ways that you heal your team up even in combat besides the healer, especially if you don't have a healer on your team. And of course, there's ways to revive your heroes. Of course, these are on a cooldown. You can't just constantly go around reviving your heroes, but it is something that is going to be very important. And the other thing is going to be alchemy. This one is going to take a little bit longer to unlock in your story mode, but this is how you're going to take a lot of your base resources and upgrade them into a higher tier. So you're going to have a bunch of different ways to do it. You're even able to do it with your guides from the teachings, turning them into guides. You're going to have them for your weapon ascension materials, pretty much everything and anything. If you can craft, you can upgrade it. This is where you're going to do it. Now, there are different shops throughout the world that you can purchase some of these resources from as well. These are pretty important things to do, especially when you're exploring around. You will be getting this currency here, the sigils. So feel free to spend them. They will have things where, the basic resources, even Mora as well. There are some things you really want to go after. If you are using the free-to-play, the main character in the story, you're going to want to grab these because these are going to help upgrade your constellation. You can get materials to build weapons and craft with them. And of course, there's weapon ascension materials. There's character level up materials. There's a whole bunch. So make sure you take a look at this shop. The other shop to look at, and it actually is kind of attached to wishes, and that is going to be Paimon's bargains. So there are things you can do. Stay away from Acquainted Fate. If you are going to use Primo Gems for Intertwined Fates, that's fine. Just stay away from Acquainted for right now. But yeah, as you do summons, as you do wishes, you will get 2 different resources here. You'll get Masterless Stardust, and you will get Masterless Star Glitter. So the glitter, you can even get hero copies. The razor here, if you're free to play and you can somehow manage to get this razor and you need a damage dealer, this is a great pickup. You can, of course, also get Intertwined Fate here as well. Stardust, you're going to get a lot more of it from summons. You'll get anywhere from Mora to actual enhancement or experience. This is another place you can buy materials to use at the alchemy table to upgrade for your heroes. And of course, I think it's 30 days, you can actually get acquainted and intertwine fates as well. So make sure you revisit this at a later time. But those are two shops that are very useful to hit up in the early game. Now, speaking of wishes, this is where you are going to summon for your heroes, summon for weapons as well. And there's a couple things to talk about. So you do know we get some of those resources by using your summons. Of course, certain ones require the intertwined fates, while other banners will require the acquaint fates. So, yeah, I would stay away from most of these. The one I would probably invest in early game is Ballad of Goblets. If you're watching this right now, though, you might want to hold off a week to see what the next banner is going to be. But overall, this banner right here is one of the best ones you can go for. You can get Venti, which is an amazing hero. An increased drop rate for these 4 stars, which all of them are very, very good 4-star heroes. And of course, you can look down here. You can get all the characters in this one as well. So it's a pretty good deal. It's a nice one to go for. If you are going to go and spend money too, that's probably where you want to invest your money. So last up, we need to talk about artifacts, because these can be a little confusing. You're not just specifically looking for certain set bonuses, you're also looking for the correct stats on your item, and it can be a little confusing early on. I like to use this as an example because I made a mistake very early on. I was only focusing on set bonuses and not the actual stat rolls that the item has. Like for this one example, it's on Diluc. I want all the offensive. I want attack, I want a crit rate, I want crit chance, all that stuff. This one I would say is an okay roll. Even at that, it's still not amazing. I'll show you. So 2 Berserkers Bone Goblets. This one right here, we got HP, attack, defense. I mean, I don't like that. I don't like those rolls versus the more offensive ones. Again, you just have to look for what you're looking for. Make sure you don't over invest to enhance an item that is not something you're going to want to keep in the long run. Although I do highly recommend, if you have, like for me, Diluc is my main damage dealer, I say do invest in leveling up those artifacts. But one thing to focus on is definitely try to get the set bonuses that you want for these. One thing that I am going to be hunting for specifically for this hero right here is going to be the Gladiators Finale. This one is going to be amazing for any damage dealers. Hopefully you can find something with good rolls on it, but it's just absolutely amazing for Diluc. So hopefully I can find good items. But again, it's all about farming for the items you want over and over. Keep repeating the dungeons you want to try to get the artifacts that you absolutely need to max out your potential of your heroes. So those are just some of the things that come to my mind, because some of them I have done personally myself. You'll probably see them even in some of my videos here on the channel. We do a lot of stupid things here. As the saying goes, we do berry things, which are things that I do for content, but you guys shouldn't do as well. We'll see. But hopefully you guys enjoy this one. If you are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It'll help out so much. Plus, of course, we got some giveaways in the description as always. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one, and I'll see you guys next time.